And now, the Purple Room.
Welcome into the Purple Room podcast. I'm Patricia Caputo. He's David Bartholomew. This podcast is presented by Walk-Ons, but we also have a very special guest here today in Kaylee Rome. How are you, Kaylee?
I am good. Hi, guys.
We're so happy that you're here. So first, just tell everybody what you do and the role you've played in this podcast.
Yeah, so currently I'm the creative director at Tiger TV, so aka I'm these guys' bosses sometimes, half and half. And I have helped kind of do content for the podcast and gear some sponsorships and kind of helped Adam, our producer, with whatever he's needed this last semester, so yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you on in our last podcast of the semester that will be in studio. The last two will be at Walk-On, so we're excited about that. But we're kind of excited because I think it will be good just to have somebody else come in and talk so David and I don't fight about LeBron versus Jordan so much. But how's your semester going?
It's going, tired.
It's going?
Yeah.
A little tiring, but
I feel like
it's senior year. I'm trying to enjoy as much as I can.
Right. And David, you're almost a senior.
Not almost. I mean, I still got another semester of junior year, so, I'm not going to make myself older than I am. But everybody's tired. I don't know. Fall semesters is the hardest semesters because it's football. We got class. Like, all these people always on campus. There's always an event. Mm-hmm. I like my away week because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm happy there's not a game this weekend because sometimes you just want to be free on Saturday. You want to be able to you want to be able to go somewhere on Saturday and not be stuck until 2 in the morning.
Agreed.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I just bring so many snacks to the football games now because I just get hungry. And especially after the Alabama game, I would just eat a snack after every bad play.
I don't understand contraflow. I'm very confused about it.
Oh, my mom came down this weekend and she drove because she drove. We'll just say that. She drove very far, came down, had her car, and was coming back home. I walked home because I was like, you're not getting home, girl. She was like, why? Was this always a one-way? I think this is always a one-way. Like, she did not understand, even though I'm telling her, like, Mom, the contraflow exists. And she would just be like, I swore this was a two-way earlier. I was like, it was, Mom. But she got home.
I definitely feel like your mom's one of those people, though, that she can, like, convince the cop to let her go the other way.
Oh, I feel like she totally would. Like, I feel like out of good morals, she wouldn't initially. But my family in general is like that. Like, the funny thing is, like, out of our whole family, she would be the least to do it, except desperate times, desperate measures. But, like, my uncle, he has parked in the middle of New York City and been like, call me if the cops come and getting pizza real quick. Like, he has done that. And, like, I feel like that would happen. And, yeah, my cousins would do that, too. They would be like, I gotta get around. Like, they'd make up some crazy lie, and I'd be like, bro, really? But
yeah,
they'd be fine. But let's talk about us and sports and Jayden and Daniels and a little bit of LSU football because there's still hope for them. So this is what's going on. Hey, we're going to talk about the hope.
I'm going to side-eye you for that one real quick.
But we're going to talk about the analytical hope, you could say.
Okay.
That I don't know if it's statistics, but, like, realistically speaking, there's still a slight chance. We're still alive. We are. So
barely.
But we're alive. What's going on? Presented by Low and Slow. LSU football, their chances of the SEC championship are still alive. So let me tell you how. So first, they have to win out. First, that starts this weekend in Florida, which, I'll be honest, I don't know if they're going to win in Florida this weekend. But anyway, ideally, Alabama has to lose to Auburn. But technically speaking, they don't need Alabama to lose at all. But it would be extremely helpful. But they don't technically need that. What I believe they technically need is Texas or Texas A&M to lose against each other. They'll play each other on November 30th. That's going to happen. They're not going to end in a tie. So one of that's going to happen. That means that one of those teams will have 2 losses, which theoretically will make this big, like, 6-2 tie within the SEC. But also, what definitely needs to happen is that UGA needs to beat Tennessee so Tennessee can become a 2-loss team. And I think there's even a scenario where, like, if Arkansas can beat Texas and Auburn can beat A&M, all of this will be helpful. So what I'm trying to say here is that they're technically still alive.
Barely.
So, yeah, Arkansas needs to beat Mizzou. And every team, is it over the next 3 weeks? I think it is. So every team that is favored over the next 3 weeks needs to win, which they're favored for LSU to possibly go to the SEC championship.
Just to have a possibility. It wouldn't be secured, though.
No, the SEC championship.
To go to the SEC championship?
Yeah, I guess it technically would be a possibility.
We can still lose in these next 3 weeks. Which
that's why we can't lose.
I'm not too sold. Like, it sounds good on paper, like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they'd just get it over with and lose. Like,
I have full confidence in LSU beating Florida and LSU beating Oklahoma. I have a slight bit of doubt when it comes to Vanderbilt because of how Vanderbilt plays. And LSU's defense has been making entirely too many mistakes, and LSU's offense is not up to where it should be.
I think Nussmeier, you know, he was a little hot in the beginning of the season. Everybody's like, oh my God, like he's coming out better than we expected. So the narrative shifted really quickly. Even though after that USC loss, people were still mad.
Mistakes.
People were like, oh man, Nuss is kind of doing his thing. So people were kind of already kind of forgetting that he was I'm not saying a bad quarterback, but he was an average line quarterback. So I'm thinking that we're just starting to see that again when the team isn't playing their best. Our defense can't cover a running quarterback for anything.
At all.
And I also
anybody
think that
runs, actually.
Our defense is slow.
A lot of the offense also, like, every now and then, well, not even every now and then, every couple plays, Nuss might throw a ball that you're like, whoo, that was an amazing ball, but it will get dropped.
Yeah.
Or somebody's not lining up in time. Or there's a false start. There's a flag. There's a lot of organizational, there's things. We got to be more organized when we play football, more disciplined. And that is why I give coaching the majority of the blame. I feel like the plays that we're practicing in practice, what are we doing out there? Because we go out, we run like a bootleg like a couple times. He gets sacked. He runs around. He doesn't. And I just feel like the whole playbook is still set for Jayden Daniels. They didn't really do any work, like putting in Nussmeier favorite plays. I feel like the wide receivers get in their head a lot. There's a lot of drops. This starts from the top. I give BK a lot of the blame because this is stuff that should have been cleaned up in the summer. And he can come out and he can act angry and he can say, we got to play better. Like, yeah, you got to play better. And I also think he has to use the transfer portal a lot better. We have a lot of freshmen in there, like, who are playing defensive stuff, which isn't a problem. But if you get freshmen, they need to be ready to ball out. Kind of like what Deion Sanders said earlier this week. Like, you got the transfer portal now. You're not looking to develop guys no more. Like, it's cool in theory to get your freshman core from your state and build them up into strong, like, juniors and seniors by the time it's time to do that. But nah, you got to get mercenaries in the transfer portal. You got to get dudes who's ready to play right now. And if you get a freshman, they best be ready to play right now. So I feel like we just got a lot to clean up with. And
see, I agree with that because I feel like a lot of stuff as far as LSU football has been going, they focus a lot on they want high school kids from Louisiana. They want to keep that in-state recruiting. And see, I get that. But when you have a tool like the transfer portal, who's to say your quarterback does not get hurt in the second game of the season? Then what do you do? Because you have really young guys just sitting there waiting who you don't want to play right now because you want to be able to redshirt them. You want to be able to do all these things and build them up to the quarterback that an SEC team should have. But at the same time, like you said, they're running plays that it was okay for Jayden Daniels, but it's not okay for Garrett Nussmeier. Jayden Daniels is a very different quarterback and a very much more developed quarterback than Garrett Nussmeier is. Jayden Daniels is also a running quarterback. And maybe that's just my opinion, but I really enjoy watching running quarterbacks. I like watching quarterbacks who aren't afraid to get hit and aren't afraid to make a tackle and stuff like that. That's why I like watching, like, Lamar Jackson and Jayden Daniels and just people like that. Like, even, I think, I'm blanking on his name, but the Bucs quarterback, like, he ran one, and I was like, whoa. Mayfield. Yeah, like, Baker Mayfield, like, ran a play, and I was like, hey, I like that. Let's do that more. Mm-hmm. And that goes for Garrett Nussmeier because he doesn't run that much. But also, he's making passes that aren't being completed, and you cannot do that in the SEC. The SEC is supposed to be one of the highest quality of football programs in the entire country. And it is, but you cannot be an SEC team and expect to play like LSU is playing.
Yeah, it's about shaking back at this point. I mean, because Look, I think if we can clean it up just a little bit on offense, like some less drops, like receivers running the right routes, because it's hard when you got 3 receivers in the same zone. And now Nuss is looking for something. He's trying to make a play, and he makes a dumb decision. And granted, it is going to be his 11th SEC start. So I can give him that this is his first season for real playing. Because hey, we remember Jayden Daniels' first year; it wasn't the best, but it was that second year that turned him into the Heisman. I'm not saying Nussmeier is on the same trajectory, but I'm saying the more time he has under the system, and the more he can familiarize himself with the feeling of losing in the SEC, I think it'll make it easier to win because he'll be able to kind of galvanize that troop. You hear when he talk about Jayden Daniels, it's like, yeah, he's quiet, but he was a leader. And that's what this team is missing right now. You just need a leader, and it's going to come with reps and better coaching. A lot could happen. A lot should change, but we can only hope for one thing at a time, man. The only thing I can say is I hope we win Florida, and then we'll focus on Vandy after that.
I definitely think we could win Florida. I think Florida.
Of course, we got to.
Do you guys think?
Call for his head if we don't.
Do you think?
Yeah, we got to.
I was about to say I think Florida is an easy win, but when it comes to LSU football, I don't think anything has been easy.
No.
But I do think it is a win because Florida football, like, they're not good.
Yeah.
They're just not.
I agree. But I also think that every single time LSU has played Florida, no matter how bad the other team is, something happens where it's like, well, LSU might be able to win this one, or Florida might be able to pull this through.
We just got to take their heart. Like when Jayden Daniels hit, like, what was it, like that 80-yard scramble?
That's the problem.
Because we don't have Jayden Daniels.
Okay, but we're going to find some explosion.
I think the thing is, like, I think a lot of people, kind of like you said, David, this is only his 11th start. Okay, but when Jayden Daniels was entering his second year, how many starts did he have in the SEC? Now, granted, he's played football. Like, it had
but I'm saying, he's like a starting QB.
No, at Arizona State, you're right. But what I'm saying is, like, in the SEC, he was a starting quarterback for 1 year before his second year. Yeah. So everyone's like, oh, well, this is only Garrett's 11th start. He's been with the program for 3 years. Yeah. Like, Jayden wasn't.
He was that's what baffles me about it is because Garrett Nussmeier had a year that he was under a Heisman-winning quarterback. So what did you do? What did you do in that year that, like, and I completely agree that all quarterbacks have their own style. All football players have their own style of playing. And I don't think that should change. But what did you do in that year that you really learned anything or made yourself better?
I think this reminds me a lot of Dez Bryant and Lucky Whitehead. I don't know if you guys remember Lucky Whitehead, but he was a wideout for the Cowboys for a very long time. Lucky Whitehead would always beat Dez Bryant when they would race. And people were like, what? But Lucky Whitehead was naturally faster. Dez Bryant was just a great athlete. I think for a very long time, Garrett Nussmeier has said, I'm just a really great athlete, and I'll make it work. And not to say that he doesn't put in work, but I think sometimes that aspect gets caught in your head where you looked at someone like Jayden Daniels, he's too skinny, all he does, he's mobile quarterback, but he can't throw the long ball. Garrett can throw the long ball, this and that. And I think that in a sense, like Jayden Daniels says that doesn't motivate him, and he's like, all right, just let it go and all that. Like, come on. If people in your locker room are cleaning out your locker room telling you how bad you are, that doesn't motivate you at all. That's crazy to me. And I think the thing with Garrett and the difference between Jayden Daniels is that when things weren't working last year, Jayden said, well, I'm just going to do it myself because no one else wants to do it. And I think it's kind of stubborn, but it works. Okay? Like, and he didn't do it to say, I'm not going to throw anybody the ball. He was like, I'm just going to do this myself. Oh, well. And then everyone loved him for it. Mm-hmm. I think the thing with Garrett and what we saw against Alabama was it wasn't working. And he said, well, it's just not going to work. So we'll try again against Florida. We'll do it again later. And I'm just going to throw a pick here, just like at the goal line to an Alabama defender. When, yeah, you could say that was a great read by the defender, sure. But, like, also, why can't Garrett read that? Like, you have to be aware of those things. And, like, when NFL memes are posting pages of Garrett's horrible interception, that's embarrassing. Yeah. Like, are you not, like, I'm not saying Garrett Nussmeier has to be embarrassed by that. But as a fan, it's like, dude, this is the NFL memes page posting Garrett Nussmeier, when you're 11 o'clock and you're exhausted and you partied all night and this is the interception you throw on Madden, like, that was real life and that's embarrassing. And I think that's the biggest difference with LSU is that you knew this defense was depleted because they had all of these injuries. You thought that the Weeks brothers in general were going to be better than they were because of what they exemplified early in the season. You took injury after injury, and then you thought, okay, maybe Garrett's going to come in and he's going to lead. And it's just not – it's hard to be a leader. It really is. Like, Kyrie Irving's a great basketball player. He's not a leader. And David, maybe you have something to say about that, but I don't think he's a leader. There's a reason he won with LeBron and hasn't won with anybody else yet, because he's not a leader. And I don't think Garrett is either.
Listen, I think he played bad. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to throw him.
Right, you're not ready to hop off the bus.
I'm not ready to say it's over, because there's a lot of problems. Like,
I agree.
Our defense is infinitely better than it was last year. It's still a personnel thing. You still got to recruit guys. So I mean, this LSU team is on brand with what we should have expected. We're fans, so obviously we're going to be deluded no matter what. We're going to buy into the hype. We want to win every game, but looking from an outside perspective, this is kind of the team most people expect the LSU to be. And it's not because, like, when we're playing great, we can be great. Like, the potential is off the roof, but this is still a team that's learning, that's still picking up, always having, Jayden Daniels is exceptional. He's a one of one. That's why he was a Heisman. Right. Dudes like that are going to take things into their own hands. But that's, 2-3 guys every single year. Like, there's only a handful of guys that are that good to be game changers. Everybody else, in the words of Cam Newton, is a game manager. So that's all. He's got to get better at managing the game, I feel like.
And the line, too.
And we got to open our run game. We can't just blame the pass when we cannot run for anything.
Why wasn't Caden Durham in the game?
That's strictly on coaching. If we can't open up anything for us, it's making it harder for him. And then we can always look at it and be like, dude, why'd you throw that pick? Why'd you do that? But honestly, we're not behind the line. We don't have any 300-pound, 6-foot guys running at us. He might have seen something, didn't see the linebacker right under that. Boom, takes it out. It's just like, we're already losing. He's already in his head. It's about just
I think that's my biggest
rebuilding that confidence on the offense. And I think it starts with pushing the ball, even if we don't want to. You got to let teams know, we're just going to run it. The first 10 plays, we're just going to run it down your throat. That's the only way to establish yourself. And we got dudes.
Yeah, you can.
Look, Caden, he's going to break one out every single time. He's just like that. But O-line needs some more push. There's some oomph that we missing. Like, well, Cam, but I like the off-season videos where you getting mad, you getting hype and stuff. I like when I see the O-line getting angry, but then going in the game and it's like a false start, out of whack here. Guys just getting by Chester. He's just looking around. But we just need some aggression. I think that starts by forget the pass, put your hand in the dirt, and then attack the first bad color you see. That's what you gotta do. Just attack a bad color.
That's another
problem. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just hit somebody in the wrong color. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the fans might be like, what are you doing? But fans are going to get hype. Fans are going to get hype when you just hit somebody in the mouth. Yeah. That's what you do in football when you don't know anything else.
Grab his face mask, right?
Just attack. Yeah, just attack. Listen.
Hey,
I would not be
let's
mad
not
at
grab face masks, but
no, I do agree with you. I think everyone thought that this O-line was going to be the best possibly ever for LSU. They said this is the year, right before these guys go to the draft. And then you're right, the penalties have just killed them. And I think it depletes them. And again, I think it kind of goes back to that leadership aspect of when that happens, who's going to step up. And I do agree with the whole run game thing, too, because why wasn't Caden Durham in? I don't understand. I don't care that he's a freshman and all this. I mean, the red shirt thing doesn't matter. He's been playing all season. Like, that idea that, he's a freshman, it doesn't make sense. Josh Williams isn't getting the job done. All right? Like, he's been great. That's awesome. He's not getting the job done. He's not going to be this long, explosive guy for you. Caden Durham can be at times, so why wouldn't you utilize him more? There was a point in the game I thought he was hurt just because he wasn't in, and I was just like, well, I just don't get it. I mean, even Adam said it on the tailgate show. He was like, run the dang ball. That's essentially what they needed to do. Listen. Run the ball, and they failed to do that as well, especially when Garrett's out there essentially choking, and you're just like, well, just run it. Just run out the clock and put us all out of our misery. And I think the thing with putting in Ricky Collins, if he was the next man up, essentially, the redshirt thing I have questions about because I think you have 3 games you can play before you get redshirted.
Yeah, I think so.
So essentially, would you play him against Florida? Probably not. No. But then you can come in and put him against Alabama. So I don't necessarily – I mean, I understand why because then it's that question of is Garrett Nussmeier – not going to play against Florida and all that, and maybe Brian Kelly didn't want to deal with it.
He's not hurt.
But
we only have 3 games left in the season. You stick it out and you keep him out there.
But David, does it come to a point where it's an injury thing that if you want him to play the next 3 games of the season and maybe he'll go to the NFL, maybe he'll come back, that you just want him to stay healthy?
That's Nuss's choice. That's Nuss's Cam's choice.
Is it though?
If Nuss says I'm not playing the next 3 games, I'm getting ready for the NFL.
No. I'm saying against Alabama. Like
what?
Like when it got to a point, do you take him out to say, hey, I want to keep him healthy, not I understand because you're playing against Alabama. It's the SEC. Why would you take it out? But there wasn't any fire.
It was already demoralizing enough that there was nobody in the stadium by the time the third quarter came around. I wouldn't take out.
Didn't Nick Saban say something about sometimes you need a good old benching?
And that's probably Nick Saban's philosophy. Every coach is going to be different, but I don't think BK built this team to just take his quarterback out and put in a backup quarterback. I don't think they're going to do that, even if it's a blowout.
I mean, I just don't. That's not how you keep your job, though.
He going to keep it? Oh, how you keep your job is recruiting now. We got some big recruits who might be coming in. If Bryce Underwood, I know Michigan's trying to do their thing. Connor Stallions and his communist manifesto is trying to pull Underwood. But
did you see that?
The guy's obsessed, and I mean, kudos to him. But dude, we gotta watch him. He's really trying to we gotta stop him from getting Bryce to Michigan.
But he works at his high school or something now. Or he's scouting for
he's like his coach now or something.
Yeah,
how did he get a job?
How did he get a job?
You know why? Because this is literally a tampering straight from Michigan. This is Michigan literally sending this guy in. And I'm telling you, it was probably in his secret manifesto. That's 600 pages. If you write a 600-page manifesto, you 100% got another one in there. Like, I'm telling you, he got a secret book, too, that the whole Michigan staff is following.
Did they release the whole thing?
I don't know.
I never found the whole book.
I'm not reading it. What am I reading 600 pages for voluntarily?
I would totally read it.
But I put it in ChatGPT, give me some summary.
Can we ChatGPT the 600-page manifesto?
I think so.
But would you take $10 million, Kaylee, if you were offered $10 million to play at a school? Let's say you were already committed. Okay, actually, this is great because you're from Louisiana. Let's say you were already committed to, I'm trying to think of a big school. Let's just say Michigan. Well, yeah, I guess I was trying to think of a different.
LSU.
I was trying to but like I'm trying to think because Underwood is from Michigan. So I'm just theoretically, okay, let's just say, let's say Penn State. Okay, let's say Penn State was recruiting you, right? Mm-hmm. And you were from let's say you were recruited to Penn State and you said, I'm going to go to Penn State. No matter what, I'm going to Penn State. I'm committed. But LSU comes up to you and says, hey, you're from Louisiana. We want to keep you. We just want a natty. Let's just say, theoretically, we're going to give you $10.5 million to come play for us. Would you stay committed to Penn State, who, let's say they finally beat Ohio? No, actually, let's say they lost to Ohio State, just like they always do. They lost to Michigan, like usually they do, kind of like LSU did this year. What would you do?
No. I've never played football in my life.
But, like, if someone... All right, let's say for a social media director job, Penn State calls you up and says, we want you to come here, but you're from Louisiana. LSU's like, nah, like, we're going to give you $10 million, whereas Penn State, you're going to make money, you're going to make good money, but there's not a huge... Like, there's not a set number on it that you're guaranteed just yet. But a Get Gordon-type figure at Penn State will set you up, probably. But...
And see, that's the key word, probably.
Right.
However, let me put it into perspective like this. And I know y'all will get this because y'all are from the North. Y'all are both Northerners who came to the South.
Yeah.
And obviously y'all came here for a reason. My thing is, I am staying with LSU. I am staying at the LSU school or whatever we want to say, despite the money.
Okay.
Because as much as an NIL offer means to players, and I am someone who 100% believes that players should get paid within reason.
Like $10.5 million.
The culture of football, the culture of sports, the culture that LSU has is something that cannot be beat by any other school. Mm-hmm. Even in the SEC, I will go as far to say that. Yeah. You are not getting a Victory Hill parade like you do at LSU at any other school. Let's just use College Game Day. College Game Day went to Penn State before they came to LSU. You did not see the turnout at Penn State that you did at LSU. Mm-hmm. Your sister goes to Penn State. We talked about this. Yeah. She couldn't care less about it.
Couldn't care less. Her roommate did, though.
And while there may be people at LSU who don't care about football, you still have that culture around the fan base. You still have that culture for the love of wanting to go to the game that we had as many people as we did at College game day. We have as many people as we do in the stands during the game. That first snap of that game, my watch was going off for high heart rate and loud environment.
Yeah.
Like, we have earthquakes of sound. You're not getting that anywhere else. And so, yes, while another school may be offering you more money, I feel like as a football player, you have to look at what school is going to develop you better to make it to the NFL, because every football player wants to make it to the NFL. That is your ultimate goal. And what school are you actually going to enjoy being at? What school are you going to want to be at the entire 4 years without having to hit the transfer portal?
Yeah. No, I mean, you preached there. That was...
Let him know.
You make a good point. I think you make a good point. I think the other point is that Bryce Underwood could essentially be a hero at Michigan, because I think he'd be probably the best quarterback, if he keeps his way, that they've had almost maybe ever. I mean, you think of Michigan quarterbacks, Tom Brady, yeah, but the guy was drafted in the 6th round in the NFL. He wasn't necessarily the great quarterback we were expecting him to be. But I do think that that's why Bryce Underwood is staying, because of the culture aspect. And, let's be real, he knows he's going to make a bag here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, $10.5 million.
His name is already big.
He's already rich right now. Bro, they give these kids money in high school. Zion was in high school driving,
he wasn't supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to be.
Wasn't supposed to, but guess what?
Look at
if
the downfall of him.
He was doing it when he wasn't supposed to. Guess what they doing now that they can? That boy got money, and he should come to LSU because we got a squad for him, and he's still recruiting for us. So,
I agree.
Sit this one out.
I feel like you can see what Joe Sloan has done already with Jayden. We had Joe Burrow and Jayden Daniels within 5 years of each other? Not even. You can see what a good LSU program has done with Joe Burrow, and you can see what an okay LSU program has done for Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
But also, Jayden Daniels wanted it. Jayden Daniels wanted it for himself, and that's what got him to that point. And that also goes into conversation about maybe some other quarterbacks just don't want it as much. Maybe the hunger. Maybe that hunger just isn't there. But
we need specifics, Kaylee. Who are you talking about? Bryce Underwood? He hasn't even come here yet.
Anyways.
Hey man, listen. But
we're not getting it out of her.
I will tell you who need NIL, and it's the student athletes, not the student athletes, but the students like me and Adam, who go out there and sacrifice our body on weekdays.
Intramural basketball,
and it wasn't even intramural. This was just recreational hoop sessions with the boys. And I'll tell you what, we put our bodies out there, hard fought game. Just want to take a moment to just appreciate a fellow player, a member of the league, Louis DeVita, who went down with a torn meniscus, torn ACL, torn everything. He's out for
Let's preface that. He didn't tear it.
His meniscus has been torn for a very long time, guys. It's been torn for 6 months?
How did he tear it?
Well, I don't know, but I could cry.
It wasn't playing basketball.
But despite that, I mean, he went out there and he gave us 1 quarter of some of the best basketball I've ever been graced to even watch in my life. So I'm speechless. Speedy recovery, my guy. Played the rest of that game for you. My body's sore right now, but it's nothing compared to what you're going through. Yeah. It's just gonna push me forward every day.
He had surgery this morning, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Godspeed.
We're praying for him, but are you all okay? Because
dude, it was intense.
Everyone in the newsroom was
best thing we did was put it down to 8. We put the rim down to 8 feet because oh my god, we're out of shape, man. Look, when you're in college again, you're no longer in your prime. College is a great way of reminding you getting older. So when you're out there, oh my god, it was 2 minutes in.
You're in college.
I'm tired. What do you mean in college?
Serious statement.
What do we do that's anything athletic compared to running up and down? And we're out there. We're hooping outside.
Oh, you're outside.
Cold. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking you're inside the U. Were you at the UREC?
Even if we're inside, I would have been tired. Yeah, we was at the UREC. But, dude, running up and down the court, I'm telling you, try it right now. Full speed basketball game 21. You're going to be gone in 4 minutes. It is hard, but we fought through. Tate almost called me. He was like, "Oh, he gonna be an amped up Angel Reese." Oh nah. Ask Tate. I put him on that island. I hit him like LeBron James.
I heard about that, like once or twice, right? It was multiple times. I was hearing.
Oh man, it was a great time, great game. But
so what I'm hearing is,
I'm done.
Oh, I was about to say maybe Matt McMahon can make some phone calls. And
No, Matt.
You can handle it.
Matt, if you need somebody,
I don't think they need you right now.
You need just somebody on the sideline to just
towel boy
help out. Oh no. We got towel boys.
You think you're too low for that?
Somebody
That's horrible.
To contribute. Some
you need a hype man
to the team. If you need a hype man,
send them DMs.
Because look, Adam could tell you, I get tired and I start calling stuff out. I'm calling plays for my boys. I'm telling Steven, set that screen. I'm from the cut. We got back door. Like when you get tired, you got to start seeing it like a war general. And I told you earlier, there's game changers and game managers. I do a little bit of both. I think I'm a game specialist. So I switch it up from time to time. I got to take the ball. I got to be like LeBron, put it in my own hands. I'm going to get out there. But like I got to chill out, watch them. Go get my boys in the game. What's up?
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of putting it into our own hands, we were talking about Jayden Daniels, that Jayden Daniels always puts the team on his back, but he failed to do that last night. But I'm kind of sick of this whole I really like NFL memes. I'm not going to lie, guys. I really like NFL memes. It's really the only reason I have Instagram anymore. Anyway, I'm saying that because there was like 20 NFL memes dedicated to Jayden Daniels not being able to play in primetime. And I think that's ridiculous. And that makes me upset because we forget that he's a rookie and he's 7-4 and respectfully went to a trash franchise. No offense, but they're trash. They were trash at least. And he kind of had to build this program from the ground up. Yeah, they've made some... Well, no, pretty much everyone's 30 years old. Like, Zach Ertz, like, don't get me wrong. 2-point conversion last night. Oh, my gosh.
We're just hating on the Commanders right now?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not mad at it.
I don't even know how Zach Ertz was able to get that done. But I think he's 34. Like, let's be realistic here. It's not like he has this young, spunky, fun team. Like, why does Austin Eckler have 16 points against me right now? Anyway, it's fine. I just lost 228-48 on fantasy, but I'm going to stop rambling. Yeah, against my mom. But whatever. I'm done. Anyway, Jayden Daniels. Are we really going to spin this narrative that he can't play in primetime or he chokes in primetime?
Who made this narrative? Did you get this off NFL memes?
Low key, but also
Absolutely
Adam
not.
also texted it in the group
Absolutely
chat today
not,
about that conversation.
Kid is a rookie.
I'm not trying to start a narrative. I'm just relaying what social media is saying.
Right, like
we
social media.
Hate social media over here.
Yeah,
no offense.
Not like I'm sitting here and it's my whole job.
Forget social media. Let's erase it.
It was JD first. He rookie. We knew. Commanders ain't that nice. They're going to lose games like these. They're so dependent on week 2.
Also, they're playing the Eagles.
Yeah, and bald Sirianni.
People give the Eagles a lot of they nothing. But I mean,
they're solid.
Eagles are a good team.
They consistently get to the playoffs, and I mean, they pull it out when they have to.
Can you name one bad person on that offense?
Probably
like
if I watch the game, but I mean, I'm not dedicating any time to watching any Eagles games. No, absolutely not. They took Saquon Barkley from us. Why would I ever?
I mean, yeah, he was great.
I mean, I'm talking about him because this is my job, but we would never talk about the Eagles.
He might save Jalen Hurts' job. He might even been able to save like Daniel Jones' job. But
oh my God, okay. Huh? Who?
Yeah, primetime Jayden is better than Daniel Jones.
Listen,
most people are better.
We're not talking Giants today, and we're not talking. Look, no Giants, no Daniel Jones talk. Let the man get his rest. Let neighbors and them get their rest so we can come back out cooking next week.
How many years do you think it will take for that whole like Saquon Barkley and the New York Giants thing just to go away? Like when kids start saying, "Wait, Saquon Barkley was on the New York Giants and he just is known as a Philadelphia Eagle," because they're gonna pay him like they have, but. I feel like
as much as he's been doing the plays he's been making for the Eagles, it's going to be sooner than later.
It's going to be like there's going to be some little kid who's like, I kind of feel bad talking about this because David's face right now is so sad. But I just feel like there's going to be a kid who's like, Saquon Barkley was on the New York Giants. And it's going to be then Saquon Barkley on the Eagles and doing that backwards jump and all that stuff. I mean, he's great. He really is. I was beating myself up last night that I traded him in fantasy years ago. I can't imagine how the Giants feel.
Dang, Trish.
Yeah, whatever. For Justin Fields. But
you were Joe Son before.
Whatever.
Beforehand.
Whatever. It's okay. It doesn't matter now, okay?
It don't. It really don't.
So, I want to ask a question. What do y'all think the odds are of Jayden getting Rookie of the Year?
I think he's locked it up. I don't know.
Probably not.
I feel like for a minute it was between him and Malik because they had like 2 really good games in a row. I don't know, this whole narrative of Primetime is kind of making me upset, but the Eagles are a hard team to beat. And I can't remember if they've already played them yet. I think this is the first time they played them this season. So I feel like realistically, the way a lot of these NFC East matchups goes is that they might be able to split it. So I think the Eagles might be able to lose depending how late they play them this season. I think they might play them a little earlier. Like, I still have confidence the Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles. I think they play toward the end of the season. Like, yeah. They're going to bench everybody, let the Cowboys win, like, whatever. I don't really care about that team anymore. But I don't. Like, I'm a football fan. I don't like the Cowboys anymore. Like, I don't. Just don't even get me started Anyway, I really do. I like just watching good football now, and that's why I wish the Eagles kind of weren't the Eagles because, like, just being Cowboys fan and being from here, like, you know, there's this, like, oh, no one likes the Eagles, but the Eagles are a fun team to watch, you know, and
Eagles are a very fun team to watch.
Ever since Sirianni went bald, they're 4-0. Like, people were calling for his job. The guy went bald, now he's won every single game since, and people are like, Eagles fans are loving him. They're calling bald Sirianni, you can't beat us, like, shave your head every day. Like, it's like no one can get after him anymore. I mean, literally, like 4 weeks ago, they were like, you got to fire this guy at the end of the season because he's not your guy. He's making Jalen Hurts looks bad. Saquon, like, now you're coming into this week and you're like, okay, yeah, Jayden Daniels can beat you, but the Eagles are so good. I mean, who can beat us? Like, that's what you're saying to yourself at the end of the day. And you look at this roster, and there's nothing that's telling me they can't win. Like, look at your offense alone.
Yeah.
Like, everything just seems to fit and work together, and then you add Saquon to it, and it really is. It's a fun team to watch.
We just want to torture me, huh? This is what we're
like, you have to admit, though, they're a fun team to watch, though. Besides, like, you take the fans away from it.
Dead body.
You have to admit, bro, they're a fun team to watch.
Right. Can't do it.
All
Next caller.
Jayden is a heavy favorite. He's minus 950 for Rookie of the Year.
Jaden's a heavy favorite.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I feel like he can win. No, I low-key feel like he locked that in when he had that, like, 80-yard pass, Hail like Mary at the end. He locked that down.
And I think, like, I mean, you look at that game yesterday, too, that there was still an opportunity for that. Like, if they had gotten that onside kick at the end, this is a whole different story. This might be, Jayden Daniels does it again and does something crazy, like what Aaron Rodgers usually does, you know? Like, it's a whole different narrative. It's not like they got blown out.
Yeah.
They were in Philadelphia.
You also have to remember, Jayden has been playing with bruised ribs the last couple games.
Yeah,
he was wincing while throwing last night.
No, exactly. He's hurt. He's banged up. He's with other players who are older. It's not like he's with this young team just like him. He doesn't really have like flashy stars. They're 7-4 still, and they lost to an 8-2 team in Philadelphia. Playing in Philadelphia, enough said.
Yeah.
I don't want to play in Philadelphia.
I saw something the other day that was like Malik's waiting for his contract to be up so he can go to the committee.
Okay. End of this. What we got next?
Wait, when they played each other and they were like, I don't know if you saw, but Malik went like this. And
yeah.
And it was like, I'm sure Malik's telling him, don't.
Guys, the NBA is back. I love the NBA. I love basketball so much.
Tell Dan Quinn to come get me.
LeBron James dropping a triple-double the other day.
I'm
just so happy.
Well, fine, David. We'll talk about something that you want to talk to. Because
no Giant talk. What you just said, absolutely not. Adam, cut that out the podcast. I don't even want that negative energy in the air. Like,
well, I mean,
nothing. All
we
have is Malik.
Next week, y'all play the Bucks.
Okay, we gonna spank the Bucks. That's what we gonna do. We gonna spank.
Fuck.
Don't worry. I ride for my team.
Get back to me after next week.
Kid's a Yankees fan.
Daniel Jones got his swagger back. Don't worry, we finna get
one.
David's a Nets fan, a Yankees fan, and a Giants fan, so we gotta cut him some slack. And I assume you would fall under the Rangers category too. Bro. So it's been tough for you. So I would be delusional too.
What's wrong with tough?
I mean,
listen,
you got the New York.
I'm
Liberty.
adversity built. I'll tell y'all that right now. The reason why I'm good with taking a loss and I could bounce back just like the rest of my team is because we are used to getting hit and put in the dirt. But guess what? We get up every time. That's my boys. Listen, I tell you what. You got hope until it's over. So we gonna be fighting until the end of the season. I know it's talk about tanking. I know I entertain the tanking talk, but we're going to win if we want to. We could have tanked last year. We could have told Tommy Tanks. We could have told Tommy DeVito, don't win the game for us, but we did, so we going to fight.
They really should put him in.
I'm behind my boys. I'm behind Dabs. Malik hasn't given up despite what everybody thinks. He loves New York. Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, New York is definitely the place to be. Like, if I was him, I would be fine because I'm in New York. And that's kind of the thing with Saquon Barkley. Everyone's, why would he go to the Eagles? Like, He's from PA. He's from the tri-state area.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he go to the Eagles? The Giants didn't offer him. The Eagles did. Yeah. So you don't have to move your family across the country. Like, I was not upset with that. You know, even being a Cowboys fan, I was like, that's the best move. And if I was Saquon Barkley, I'd go there in a heartbeat. Put me in green.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, you barely have to move your
Lord
family.
have
You can
mercy.
be close to your family.
I'm a
It doesn't
Cowboys
matter.
fan.
But you're a family. Like, he's got 2 kids. All right. You have to think about moving your family. You don't have support from your family if you move to California or if you go to Dallas, like they were talking about. And Jerry Jones was going to make a move anyway. So yeah, I would go to Philly. You go to Penn State. You're 4 hours away from the campus now. If you want to go to a whiteout game like they've done before. I don't say I stalk this man's life, but I mean I follow them on Instagram, so I know what they're up to.
I didn't think
so
you
I'm
did,
just
but
saying.
now I'm trying to think you stalk his life.
Like, yeah, do I follow his whole family? Yeah, maybe, but
Oh.
I'm just saying you get to do those things that you don't get to do if you're living across the country, which is why I think Saquon made the right choice. Same thing with Malik, even though he's from here. I would want to be in New York too. Like, you're a 22-year-old kid and you're in New York City or New Jersey, but you know, you probably live in Jersey, you get to go to New York. I mean, best of both worlds, right? Like, you have a concussion and you're going to a Travis Scott concert. Like, you really can't complain. And I don't really understand what everyone got upset about because I was like, well, you can't play anyway. So, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I feel like New York is a really good place for him to be, especially starting out, because he's able to have fun while still doing it.
yeah. And I think it's good. I don't think he wanted to stay in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think
that
that, no offense, David, I don't think New York is somewhere that Malik will stay to be his, like, home franchise. I don't know where he'll end up.
Well, we'll see.
But
I think this year will say a lot because the rumor is that Daniel Jones won't come back. And I think this year will say a lot on who they draft. They just got to draft the right guy. Like, they should have never drafted Daniel Jones in the first place. But let's be honest. People were like, oh, my gosh, the Knicks are going to get Zion. The Knicks are going to get Zion. And then the Knicks didn't get Zion because he went to the Pels, and everyone was like, well, we'll just pick another Duke guy. Like, let's pick the quarterback who has horrible stats and wasn't that great in college. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, from the jump, for the last, like, in that era, it was like 3 years where everyone was like, wait, why are the Giants picking that lineman over this lineman? Like, why are you picking Daniel Jones over, this guy? And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then to not offer Saquon. Like, I feel like this conversation would have been more relevant 3 or 4 months ago when Saquon left. But you do have to be like, what are you doing? You're the New York Giants. Like, this is the same franchise that was ready to get Eli Manning out of there because he wasn't winning games after winning 2 Super Bowls. And then you're ready just to let go of Saquon and draft arguably one of the worst mistakes the Giants have made.
Let's
Battle
talk
of the
about,
DJs tonight, right,
let's talk
guys?
about NBA before David won't make it to Battle of the DJs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in chronic depression now. Thanks, Trish.
I'm sorry, but this is a real conversation we had to
Go
have.
ahead and cook my Giants about our bad decisions. Yeah, it's in my head all day. But you know what? I'm still good because I'm gonna ride for my team. I'm gonna ride for my program. You was over there talking about the Eagles. I don't care about no Eagles. I don't care. I don't care about no Commanders. I love JD, but I don't care about the Commanders. I don't care about the Cowboys. All I care about is the Giants, and we're going to do what we got to do. End of discussion. What we got tonight?
Okay,
Battle of the DJs.
We have Battle of the DJs tonight, but first let's talk about, we'll change the subject for you because you really want to talk about this. The TikTok editors, Kaylee, hold your breath, versus the professional editors.
Word.
And you think that the TikTok editors are better.
Yeah, I be seeing the sports edits that I get on my TikTok. Some of the hardest, most ethos, pathos, logos conveying stuff that I've ever seen. Like, I be almost in tears watching TikTok edits. Free Jordy, if you see his TikTok, some of the most banger edits. Don't even get me started. I have a whole folder. It's like 200 edits.
They are really good.
Fire. I ain't saying, obviously, if you're a pro editor, you could do what a TikTok editor is doing. But I feel like these 15-year-old high school kids that are just making sports edits really after school, they are killing it. They will make you root or hate for a player quickly. Like, it's, oh, my God. That's what I'm saying. TikTok, they may have to ban TikTok. It's like a propaganda wave because, I don't know, God forbid they start making like a LeBron hate wave and they brainwash these children into believing that Michael Jordan's they go. I'm gonna have some things to say. You're going to have to bring me in front of the Congress, and I'm going to have to tell them, we're going to get rid of this app, or I'm going to have to do it myself. I would delete TikTok out of everybody's phone.
This summer, I cried over a Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant edit.
See, you almost told me that they wasn't fire.
I worked 14 hours, and I just, saw this edit, and I just started crying. I was like, they should have never left each other, and they could have had something there, and whatever. they just didn't, but it was a really. I'll show you the edit. It was really good.
It's probably really good. I believe you, because some TikTok editors, they be doing their thing. That's all.
Okay, let me.
I don't think she began to. Do you even get the sports edits that we began?
Oh yeah.
You be seeing them, so you cannot tell me they're trash.
None.
I'm not gonna tell you they're trash. What I will tell you is, I started out in high school doing that.
Okay.
So all of these kids who are doing that is like your future social media directors.
Good.
And your future
That's good. That's good.
Things. But also in that same notion, you have to realize how serious the marketing world will get with these people. Mm-hmm. Because the marketing world's already serious. We can grab y'all attentions like very at the snap of a finger. All we have to do is put 2 words on a screen and you're hooked.
They put a good 2010 song behind like a Brett Gardner Yankee season.
That's the thing. Look,
like,
the dudes on TikTok, they get me hooked quick. It's the song choice. The edits just be fire.
Yeah.
I think it's simple. I think once you get to the pro, you got a lot of money to work with. These guys, they working with their phone and like CapCut. So
or like,
there's level of authenticity to it.
The edits where it's like a movie or something, or like someone saying something in the beginning and then it's like a flash to player highlights.
Yeah.
Those are just so good. All right, let's keep talking about sports. Let's get into No Sweat Bets presented by Southern Air.
Oh yeah.
David, I heard a little rumor that the Giants might come up again, but we'll see. Kaylee. No Sweat Bets presented by Southern Air. Fixed right earth.
Throw this whole episode away.
Kaylee, what do you got for us, Kaylee?
Okay, I was going to talk about the Giants versus the Bucks next week, but I think I'm gonna let David rest a little bit.
Thank you.
That's so sweet.
Because I really need him to show up to Battle of the DJs later and MC, and I feel like if I had this conversation, he might not show up.
9 p.m.
But let's say LSU Florida. I'm very interested in how this is going to go. I don't think it will be a high-scoring game at all. I think that if it might hit the 20s, maybe.
All right.
And if anything, because, also my thought process is it's a day game.
Yeah.
Not good for LSU.
Right.
Not good at all for LSU. In Florida.
Yeah.
We're a hot state.
It's supposed to get colder, though. Right?
I don't know what the
Gainesville up
temperature
here
is.
in Florida?
Yeah, they're up towards the
map speaking.
top in that
I only know Miami
little area.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So, I don't know. LSU going into the swamp, I think it's going to be very close. I'm going to say
that's going to be miserable.
Let's say 14-21.
All right. 14-21 LSU is going to win? Or you think Florida's going to win?
No, I think LSU's going to win.
All right. I don't think LSU football. I think they can win. They're not making it to the SEC championship. Like, realistically, that was all cool what we talked about, but I just think, let's just get it over with. Okay, let's stop getting our sports hopes up.
Yeah, let's just...
I'm ready just to ride on this New York Liberty victory for the next 10 years. All right. I am. Seriously, I am. All right, but I want to talk about Bills Chiefs because I think this should be a primetime game. It's not. It's a 3:25 game.
Really?
Yeah, which I mean, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win anyway, so I think it's just going to be the same thing. Yeah, the Bills right now, they're favored to win and all this, but look, Kansas City just finds ways to win. I mean, Patrick Mahomes almost just tore every ligament in his leg last week and still was no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's limping, and then he's like, I'm healed. I'm totally good. Whatever. I really do think this team just finds ways to win, and I think someone we were talking about the Eagles, how they're all put together. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs here and there has they're not that good of a team, or Patrick has thrown an interception every single game, but he's still going to pull it together, and that's at the end of the day what essentially makes you one of the greatest players to ever do it. So I think the Chiefs are going to come away with that one, and Bills fans once again are going to be pretty upset. Tough week for New York, but Giants aren't a bye, so the Bills will have to take a loss for them this week. Anyway, with women's basketball, a little bit more hope there. They're starting off 3-0, and I'm kind of just going to go all in. They have 3 games from now until Wednesday. So Murray State, Troy, and Tulane, they play them all at home. I think they're going to win all of those games.
Oh, yeah.
Please do not embarrass me with this bet, and then they'll start the season off 6-0. Please,
help
please,
Trish.
Coach. Please help me. I need help. David, what do you got? Do you think you need help?
Well, we gonna see. I got my first bet. I got tonight, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Long awaited. It was rescheduled. Supposed to be a long time ago. We still getting it. It's hard for me to choose this one because I'm a big Mike Tyson fan. I got a Mike Tyson poster in my house and stuff. That's my guy. Straight Iron Mike, straight assassin
with the tiger.
But
right?
Yeah, he did take that picture with the tiger. Yeah. He's a crazy guy. He's unhinged. But he was one of the greatest boxers of all time. So it's why you gotta be fighting Jake Paul? This feels like this should have never happened. This feels so dystopian to me. I feel we should have never seen old Mike versus Jake Paul. What timeline did we? Well, we're already in a wild timeline, so this just confirms it to me. But Jake Paul is minus 200. I would take Jake Paul just because he's younger. I'm not saying Mike Tyson doesn't have the strength. I think Mike Tyson still has the same power and the same fear factor.
You think he'll bite his ear?
No. He definitely will get into that mode though. He already has. He slapped him in the press conference. The way he's talking is already depressing again. There's this little kid. Her name is Jazz. She does interviews and stuff.
Oh, I saw her.
Instead of it's usually upbeat. She's usually getting people. You're I'm just trying my best. Da da da. She's so how are you gonna live up to your legacy? And Mike Tyson's well, I don't believe in the legacy. There's no legacy. You're just going to die at the end of the day. It's just a word somebody made up. And it was just whoa. He's in that war mode again. Yeah. So if he lands a clean shot on Jake, I think it could equally be lights out. But I don't think Jake's going to let that happen.
That'd be so sick.
I got Jake Paul minus 200. And then keep it up with the fighting. On Saturdays, UFC 309. My last UFC bet, I said it was Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. I had Max Holloway with a second round TKO. That didn't happen. Ilia Topuria is just insane. But John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. We haven't seen John Jones fight. And last time he fought was against Cyril Gane, his first heavyweight fight. I think John Jones is going to take the win just because it's a nasty guy. It's a mean guy, and I can't wait to see insane. Who's going to fight Tom Aspinall next. So, yeah, John Jones is negative 650 right now. I think that's a no-brainer. I think he's going to take Stipe out easy. And that's what I got. That's all. Oh, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Oliveira. Charles du Bronx. That's my guy.
Since Alabama won and beat LSU, do you think you'll get a Mike Tyson tattoo? If Mike Tyson...
No! My mom would kill me.
Well, you can't get the LSU tattoo. You said you get an LSU tattoo if they beat Alabama with Stephen Miles.
They didn't listen. They didn't listen.
What about a tiger tattoo? What about a tiger tattoo?
A tiger
yeah, because
tattoo?
Mike Tyson with the tiger, you go to LSU.
There's no significance no more. I was going to get the tiger for LSU. I'm not going to get the tiger from Mike Tyson. I mean...
It'd be funny, though.
I'd like to see Mike
a conversation starter.
With Mike? I don't want to start a conversation with Mike.
No, with somebody else about Mike.
Hey, why'd you get a tiger? Mike Tyson beat Jake Paul.
Well, yeah, oh, my God. Then you can go along with the narrative I went to LSU. You don't have to tell people the truth.
I'll get a tiger tattoo. Day LSU wins a big game. It gotta be a big game that I already pre-bet on.
Baseball
Maybe
season.
me and Milam can make another bet.
Yeah, baseball. He can't bet on baseball, but
wait, it was if we beat Alabama, I was gonna get the tiger. Yeah. I thought it was if they won the chip or something.
No, you guys were betting a lot on a very little. I was in retrospect of getting a permanent tattoo. But
two guys ready to risk it all. I mean, what can I say?
Not for Mike Tyson though.
Nah, not enough.
Okay. Well, Kaylee, thank you so much for joining us. It was really fun talking to you and.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I was excited for this.
Yeah, no, we're so happy.
I'm always behind the scenes.
This was your exit meeting. Before graduating.
Oh goodness.
God dang, push me out the door then.
Bye. Bye. Well, this has been the Purple Room Podcast presented by Walk-Ons. We'll see you next week at Walk-Ons.